Lesson 92, multiplicative property of inequality. That's fun enough to say, multiplicative property of inequality. And we're going to do spheres. With spheres, we're going to find the volume and surface area of a sphere. So what we have here is we're going to be graphing inequality, just with a slight difference. The bamboo pad is upside down. That should be and equal to. The thing we're going to learn in this particular lesson is the multiplicative rule. It says every term on both sides of an equation or inequality can be multiplied by the same positive number without changing the solution of the equality or inequality. They don't actually have the rule that we're going to do, so I'll just explain it to you. We're going to graph the solution to this, and this is nothing that we haven't done before except for one huge difference. The number in front of the x right here is negative. So before we can do this problem, we have to get rid of the negative sign. And here's something, this is the main point of this lesson. Whenever we divide an inequality by a negative number, so I'm going to divide both sides of this inequality by a -1, we need to flip our inequality sign. That's the main part of this lesson. So we divided both sides by a negative. If you divide by a positive, you don't change the inequality sign. When you add a negative to both sides, you don't change the inequality sign. But when you divide by a negative, you need to flip the inequality sign. So we would get x, before we even start, we would say x is less than or equal to 2. We keep the and equal part. We keep that there too. So let's just try, let's see if I can come up with an example real quick. Say we have -5 is greater than or equal to, it's greater than, say, -10. If I divide both sides by -1, I would get 5. Instead, don't flip the sign. Is greater than or equal to 10. Is that true? No, it's not true. That's not true. So this is just showing whenever we divide by a negative, we have to flip the sign so we get 5 is less than or equal to 10. And that would be true. So if you're dividing an inequality by a negative sign, you have to flip. You have to flip the inequality sign. So here we have it. X is less than or equal to 2. Oops, that should be -2 as well, because I'm dividing by a negative. So I'm going to put my numbers on here, 0, 1, 2, 3. We don't need tons of numbers on there. 2, 3, 4. And we have our -2 right here. So x, and this is the real number, so we're going to get to color them in. So we get x is less than or equal to -2. So I'm going to color it in because it's and equal to. So we color it in. And it's less than, so I'm going to fill in less than. So as you can see, the only tricky thing, the only new thing in this lesson is when we divide by the negative, we flip the sign. Let's try another one that's a little bit more complicated. This one, we need to get the x by itself in order to graph it. So I'm going to leave my -x over there. And this should be and equal to 2. I think these are all and equal to. They are. So we're going to subtract 4 from both sides. I'll just do that right there. When we subtract the number from both sides, we don't change our inequality sign. So I'm going to say less than or equal to 2. Because I'm subtracting 4 from 6. I'm subtracting 4 from 4. Here we go. Same situation we were in last time. We're going to divide by a -1. When you divide by a negative, you flip your inequality sign. Look at that, almost the same thing as our last problem. So we draw our number line. This time we want numbers that are greater than or equal to -2, but check out the domain. Not real numbers, integers. So let's put a 0, 1, 2, 3. This would be -2 right here. 1, 2, 3. Just put a couple numbers on there. And we want numbers that are greater than or equal to -2. And we're talking integers, so we're not going to fill in numbers in between, only the ones that aren't fractions or decimals. So we want all the ones that are greater than and equal to -2. So just fill in a few of those, and I always like to fill in the little arrow. And that's all there is to these. These are kind of fun, huh? Alright, graph this solution. This time we want to subtract 4 from both sides, trying to get the x by itself. So we get negative 3x is less than, and this time would be 9. We subtract 13, subtract 9 from 13. Here we go. This is the tricky part. We're going to divide by a negative. It doesn't matter if it's -1, -3, negative whatever. Anytime you divide an inequality by a negative, we have to flip the sign. So we're going to get x is now greater than or equal to -3. These are real numbers, so we're going to color them in opposed to filling in the dots. So we have our 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. We have our -3 right here, and equal to, so we're going to color in the and equal to part, and then we're going to color in the whole graph, all the numbers. So the only thing in this lesson that's new is when you divide, it's actually going to be multiplied too, but we haven't done any like that. When you divide or multiply, both sides of an inequality, you must flip inequality sign. Alright, everyone got that? I hope so. It's pretty simple, but it's an easy thing to forget. Alright, let's move on to the volume and surface area of a sphere. This is really easy. The thing that makes this easy is you don't have to memorize the formula. The formula for volume of sphere is 4/3 pi r squared. And the surface area of a square is 4 pi r. These things you can use during a test. I'll give you the formulas. It's also, you can always use the formula page in the back of your book during tests. That's okay, because I don't know if you can remember things like the regular square of a pyramid. They're just really hard things that nobody really memorizes. So you can use the back page of your book for your test. So here we go. It says find the volume of a sphere whose radius is 3. Well, I have a picture here, and just pretend like this is R. Pretend the radius is 3. We're going to find the volume. So we're just going to take and we're going to use our volume formula. So we have the volume of a sphere is 4/3 times pi times the radius, 3 squared. And you're just going to plug all this stuff in your calculator. We're going to get 4/3 times, let's see, we can cross out, we're going to get 4/3. You can either do your calculator or you can just write down some steps here. The 3 is going to go into 9 3 times. So we're going to get 12 pi. And, whoops, that should have been cubed. I have the formula wrong. That's really unhelpful. This should be cubed up here. Volume is always cubed. I should have known that. And for the area, that should be squared. Couldn't get all that in. Couldn't do that without my pen. So this is cubed. So I have a couple things wrong here. This should be 27. Let's see if I can just get rid of this and start over. How about that? Erase all this and start on over here. Okay, so this should be cubed up here, and this should be squared. Here we go. Volume of a square. This should be cubed. So we get 4/3 pi times 27. 3 goes into 27 9 times. This is a 4, not a whatever it looks like. So volume of a sphere, that would be 36 pi, and then you just put in your calculator, and you're going to get an answer of 113.04 cubic centimeters. Always remember, volume is always cubic. Alright, so make sure you get that 3 there, even though I didn't do that. Okay, let's go down here. It says now, this time it says find the volume, find the surface area. So the volume would be all the stuff inside. The surface area would just be the outside. Like if you had one of those gumballs that didn't have anything inside, just what the surface area is going around. So we just use this formula up here, and we just plug it in. This time our radius would be 4. So we just do the surface area of a sphere is equal to 4 times pi times 4 squared. And really simply, you just plug that into your calculator, and we're going to get 4 times 16, 4 squared is 16, times pi, and that's going to be 64 times pi, and when you plug it on in, you get 200.96 meters squared. Surface area is going to be meters squared. Alright, that's it for lessons 9 to 2.